everybody, and welcome to this first ever edition of the SportzEdge Fan Forum. I'm your host, Kels Dayton, also the executive producer of SportzEdge.com, and I'm coming to you live, well, not live, but here from my home studios here. I'm making my own SportzEdge Fan Forum video. You can do the same thing. Just go to SportzEdge.com, sign up to be a contributor. We let everybody in, all your Connecticut sports opinions, right here on this very special, outstanding site in SportzEdge.com. We let everybody in, voice your opinion, make it heard, make it good, make it heartfelt, and that's what I'm going to do here on this edition of the SportzEdge Fan Forum. My topic here, I got my Vlade Divac jersey on. It's a beautiful Monday, and I want to talk about the NBA draft, so that's exactly what I'm going to do, because this is my site and your site, and you can do what you want to do also on here, SportzEdge.com, of course, powered by WTNH News 8. And we will talk first here on this edition of the SportzEdge Fan Forum. We're going to talk about the UConn Huskies and the fact that none of the Huskies will be selected in this year's NBA draft. It's the first time since 2010 that no Huskies are going to be taken in the draft, and it kind of has a strange feeling. Maybe the interest level a little bit down in Connecticut for the draft because of the fact that Shabazz Napier obviously coming back next season. Omar Calhoun will be back. DeAndre Daniels will be back. They should have a really good team next season. Kind of hurts this season going into the NBA, though, because no players obviously coming out. Not that UConn fans are going to complain, obviously, about the fact that they have a great team coming back next season, but I think it's a little eerie, maybe not eerie, just a little strange that there are no Huskies going to be taken in this year's draft. You take a look at the list, and I'm not sure if you can see it there on the screen here at the home studios. We don't exactly have the production value that we would like to have here at the home studios, but 2012, Andre Drummond, obviously last season. Drummond had a great rookie year with the Pistons. It was really interesting to see what he did last season with them. It was one of the better rookies, really, last year. And I think you take a look at Jeremy Lamb, also selected in the lottery last season, was not one of the better rookies last season for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Spent much of the year down in the D-League, but I think it was interesting to see what happened with him making the NBA, and I think it always makes it a little more interesting that Thursday night is coming up. Obviously, the draft is coming up this Thursday, and it's always more interesting when there's a local guy, when there's a UConn guy involved in it. You look at 2011, you had Kemba Walker, of course, coming off the national championship. One of the more interesting storylines to see how he would fit into the NBA, how his game would translate. Obviously, not one of the bigger guys in the league, but he has had a pretty good career so far when you look at his first 2 years. I think this year he was a candidate for the Most Improved Player Award. He averaged 18 points per game, coming off a year in which he averaged 12 points a game last season. So I think he was one of the better guys. He's been one of the more interesting guys that we've seen in the NBA coming from UConn. And we also have a list on SportzEdge.com of the 50 greatest players in UConn history. You might be a little surprised at where Kemba Walker lands on this list. I'm just going to throw it out there. You got obviously Ray Allen, Richard Hamilton. Did Kemba do a little bit extra than some of those guys? We'll see where he lands. You should take a look at that here on SportzEdge.com. Also, we've got 2009. You had A.J. Price, Hasheem Thabit. 2006, Hilton Armstrong, Josh Boone, Marcus Williams, and Rudy Gay. All four of those guys in the NBA draft that season. I thought Marcus Williams would end up being a better player than he turned out to be. Actually, thought he should go very high in that year's draft. He was one of the better guys. Actually still holds the UConn record for most assists per game. And I think we had that in the 50 greatest Huskies as well, as I think Marcus also cracks the list. 2005, you had Charlie Villanueva. 2004, Ben Gordon, and of course Emeka Okafor, as they won the NCAA championship that season. And you take a look, obviously some great UConn players that have come through the draft in recent years, and those are the guys that we have seen get drafted from UConn in the past 10 years. Of course, you go back to 2003, you take a look at the fact that that year you had a lot of Huskies coming back with Ben Gordon and Okafor eschewing the draft to come back for another season. I think it was a smart move what Shabazz Napier did in coming back for his final season in Connecticut in Stores. And I think he is going to be great next season as you see the Huskies take on SMU, Temple, and Memphis, the classic rivalries from the American Athletic Conference. Completely ridiculous that we can't see the Big East. It almost brings a tear to my eye thinking about it right now. I know a lot of you Connecticut fans out there feel the exact same way. Not being able to see Georgetown and Syracuse come into Stores. It's just completely absurd and ridiculous, and it should not have happened. and I can't even believe it. Another thing, as we segue in, another thing I can't believe is people now making the comparison, as we saw in the NBA Finals just a few days ago. LeBron James, I guess it was last week now, last Thursday, LeBron James and the Miami Heat, of course, winning the championship in 7 games over the Spurs, the overmatched Spurs. I think you take a look at San Antonio in Game 7, they looked like an over 30 league team. They looked like an over 40 league team, really. When you look at Boris Diaw, couldn't jump over a piece of paper. Tim Duncan couldn't make that layup at the end of the game. They were the worst looking team that could have won a championship that I've ever seen in my entire life. That was just such a terrible performance of basketball. Manu Ginobili just looked absolutely ridiculous out there. Looked like he didn't even know how to play the game of basketball anymore, as he's, however old he is, he looks like a 50-year-old man, as do most of the San Antonio Spurs. They looked horrible in that series. Still, though, somehow, thanks to Kawhi Leonard, 19 points, 16 rebounds in that Game 7. Somehow, the Spurs still had a chance to win that game, still had a chance to win the championship. It is one of the more remarkable things I've ever seen. I think you got to give credit to Danny Green, of course. Had a great series, made the Heat come out and guard him in Game 7 and made them take him away as an option in Game 7, and that's exactly what they were able to do. But I think a lot of the reaction here, of course, if Tim Duncan makes that layup, at the end of the game, I think obviously the Spurs have a much better chance to win that game. The Heat would have gotten the ball back with 25 seconds left. If they make one free throw or get one rebound over the final possessions there in Game 6, they would have won the championship in Game 6. Wouldn't even have needed a Game 7 in Miami. So I think obviously that was ridiculous. And so I think you look at the Spurs, obviously this close from a championship, just couldn't quite get there, and now we've got the comparisons coming in for LeBron James to Michael Jordan, and I think that is where it's got to stop, and that's what I wanted to sound off here on today, because I just think it is a completely ridiculous thing to compare LeBron James with Michael Jordan. A kid that I do a radio show with had said that statistically, you take a look at LeBron and Michael, and they're pretty much the same player. You can flip a coin. Well, guess what? The coin that I'm flipping every single time is coming up Michael Jordan, because he had the will to win, he had the passion, the intensity, everything you need to win championships. If he hadn't retired in '94, the Bulls wouldn't have won the championship that year. No offense to the Houston Rockets. They would have won the next year. Again, no offense to the Rockets that year. They had a good team, but nobody could have guarded Michael Jordan. No one had more will to win than Michael Jordan did. You look at his Defensive Player of the Year award, 7-time Defensive Player of the Year, 5-time MVP, 6-time champion. The only reason he didn't win more MVPs is because people got sick of voting for him. So I think you look at LeBron, obviously he's getting there. He's on his way towards becoming one of the greatest players that's ever played the game, but he's not there yet, hasn't won the championships. And how's this also? Would Michael Jordan ever, under any circumstances, would he ever have left Chicago to go play with Patrick Ewing in New York the way that LeBron left Cleveland to go play with his boy Dwayne Wade down there in Miami? Absolutely not. There's no chance. Jordan's way too competitive for that. Way better as a basketball player, understanding the history of the game, understanding what winning championships is all about. And I do think, obviously, you got to give LeBron his props, but I think a lot of people are going a little bit overboard and giving LeBron all these accolades before he's won enough championships to come close to what MJ did, obviously winning 6 with the Bulls, and as I said, could have won about 9 with Chicago. If you look, I think if he came back, if Jerry Krause wasn't such an idiot and wanted to rebuild the Bulls on his own, showing that it was really management that won those championships, yeah. I don't think management hits game-winning shots. I don't think management's ever played a game on the court. As Michael Jordan said in his famous and classic Hall of Fame speech as well. So I think obviously you take a look at MJ, much better than LeBron still. LeBron James will never, ever, ever be Michael Jordan. That's how I see it. How do you see it, though? I'd like to hear from you guys out there in the audience, and we'd like to hear from you. Make your own Sports Edge video. It's very easy. I'll take a look and show you how to do it here on the computer, as conveniently the browser is right here, right now. You can see the SportsEdge.com should be your home page for your browser every time you come up on it. You just go to SportsEdge.com. You click on Contribute up here on the top-hand corner. The top corner here on the right-hand side and click on Contribute. Enter your first name, last name, town, email, confirm that email for us. Then tell us why you want to be a Sports Edge contributor. We will let you in. We will let you have your voice, let it be heard. And you can really sound off like I did here on the fan forum today. A lot of fun it was certainly to do this. And hopefully there'll be another one of these. Who knows? But thanks so much for listening, everybody. Thanks so much for watching this edition of the Sports Edge Fan Forum. Remember, go to SportsEdge.com. Check out our UConn 50 greatest players. You'll be surprised by who is number one, if I can only talk. You'll be surprised by who's number one on our list, and I think you'll be surprised by a lot of the other great content we have. Also, UConn in the NBA Finals. If the NBA is your thing, we got a lot of baseball content on there as well. A lot of youth and fitness stories, so you'll be really interested. No matter what area of sports you're interested in, there's something to find there on SportsEdge.com that can hold your interest and keep it in, as I hope I've been able to do for this 10 minutes that I have been rambling on for. So thanks so much for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time right here on SportsEdge.com.